Oh, this is funny. This is funny. This is like Trump just being amazing, the amazing troll he is. And even his staff, like, if it wasn't Trump that thought of this, he thought to hire people that thought of this. And so at the White House, there's that entry road up to the White House that people, the media use that road as a setup for their background of the White House shot. Like, we're here at the White House, and behind them is the White House. And it's a special area that's set up specifically for that. That's where they have to set up. So in that area, which would be behind the reporters in their shots, they put up a bunch of lawn signs like on election day, and it was just a line of illegals that have been arrested for violent crimes in this country, which is just fan-fucktastic. It's such a great troll. They knew to put it there where the media have to set up for their live White House shots. So they knew it would be in the shot. And I think this is MSNBC, right? They really hate shit like this. And they did a little story on it. Check this out. It's pretty funny.
White House has put up about 100 posters of what they say are unauthorized immigrants who've been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. They put them up on the driveway of the White House. If you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left. But what's particularly noteworthy about this location is it is right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. So therefore, no matter what network you're on, that includes MSNBC, if you're doing a hit from the White House right now, those pictures will be behind you. The White House doing a briefing in about a half hour about what they're doing here. White House.
Yeah. Brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. Just prop up a bunch of fucking signs and people, they have to put it in there. And I've heard that since that report came out, when they play the video now on MSNBC, they've blurred out all of the faces on the signs. Yeah. MSNBC wants to protect the identity of violent criminals. These are murderers and rapists that they're putting up on these signs. And instead of going, wow, this is a somber kind of display they put out, it really shows the tragedy that inviting these illegals into our country under the Biden administration has unloaded on the United States. But instead of saying that, they protect the identity of the most despicable criminals you could possibly imagine. That's what they're doing. And we have to listen to nonsense stories about why the approval rating of the media is down, why people don't trust the media or like it or watch it anymore, and why alternative media like X is flourishing while viewership off of MSNBC especially, but CNN, all of them, network, ABC, CBS, NBC, they're all down because of shit like this. Because Americans know, yeah, well, that's kind of a good thing. And how convenient that the White House put that up by your press locations so that way you can do stories on it and go, yes, let's pick one. This was tragic. This man released from jail in a sanctuary state. Their identity and location was not given to ICE, and he later went on to murder a young woman. And no, they won't do that. They should do that, but they won't. They'll blur the face out. Because how dare Trump put up the faces of monsters, horrific monsters? Why? Why is our viewership down? It's a concerted effort by Trump to lie about us and make us seem bad. Steve Bannon said they're going to blow up the whole thing. That means the trust that we've built with the people, they're going to lie to. No one can do that. I hope, anyway, that enough Americans, I know there's plenty of dimwits and retards out there, But I hope enough Americans can't really be influenced to believe the press is trustworthy and their main job and goal is to inform the people. Motion at my floodlight cam. Yeah, I can't imagine that. Someone could be convinced of that unless they're really retarded. So most people have made their own opinions. They could blame it on Trump or Bannon or anyone. Elon, alternative media. They could try to blame it on anyone, but truth be told, we see it. We see the nonsense. When you blur the faces out of people that have murdered Americans, they're here illegally, and they have murdered Americans, and they've been protected by the judicial system in these sanctuary states and sanctuary cities, local government, judges. We just saw a judge, a former judge, was arrested for harboring gang members. And a sitting judge was just arrested for interfering with ICE. Interfering in ICE's ability to arrest and deport illegals. This woman completely broke the law, knowing that this guy needed to be handed over to ICE, and she let him walk right out of the courtroom. And they had to look for him. And if that guy would have murdered somebody in the interim, what would have happened to the judge? Oh, well. She was being so nice to this guy. And then they jump on Trump. He had a sitting judge arrested. Yeah, good. No one's above the law. What happened to that? What happened to that? Trump went to trial. He was found guilty. He went through the due process. How about that? And then he's president. How's that for a go fuck yourself? So this judge she should definitely have been arrested. And she should be tried and convicted and jailed. Put her in fucking jail. But no, what again does the media do? And all these Democrat douchebags coming out of the woodwork. Oh, this is another overstep by Donald Trump. He's ripping up the Constitution, and he's taking power like a tyrannical fascist dictator. And why? Because she broke the law. How about you journalists do a fucking investigation on it? Look up the laws. Look exactly what she did. See what she was arrested for. Do that as a journalist. Instead of just crowing what your fucking owners want you to crow. No, don't. We need this to make it sound like Trump was arresting a judge because the judge didn't agree with his policies. And that's literally what they're saying. Trump had a sitting judge arrested because she disagreed with his policies. That's tyranny. No, she broke the law. She broke the fucking law, and she got arrested for it, just like anyone else should. Scumbags. Assholes. So, of course, the next thing in line, and why wouldn't it be? Because this is becoming common practice. We said it would when Clinton was impeached. And honestly, that was a pretty valid reason for Clinton to be impeached. Not even the fact that he fucked the girl. He wasn't impeached for fucking an intern in the way. He was impeached for lying to a grand jury. He lied during his deposition. I did not have sex with that woman. And he said, and then he tried to get out of it by, what's the definition of sex? What's the definition of? It was really ham-handed attempt at getting out of trouble. So he was impeached. Didn't mean anything. It's like a censure when someone gets censured in the Senate or Congress. Now, naughty, and then they just go back to their job. So he was impeached. And then we go a few more presidencies, and Trump comes in there. And Trump, he's hated, and he's a racist, he's this, that. The Democrats, liberal, he's the Antichrist. So they have to impeach again. And they impeach him during his first term. And again, still impeached, convicted, felonies. That's how bad the Democrats are. Yeah, he still gets elected. So now we're 100 days in, and here it comes, impeachment. This is just, and the real pathetic part is there could have been articles of impeachment drawn up against Joe Biden. They could have. It's not hard to do. You just come up with your own version of crimes that this guy committed, and then you file articles of impeachment. And people thought that was going to happen because that's what they did to Trump. His overreach of power, and then of course, insurrection, and he's a traitor, and they got him on none of that. What they did impeach him on was nothing. It wasn't treason. It wasn't gross misuse of power. None of that shit. So they could have done the same thing to Biden, but the Republicans decided not to do it, not to do that quid pro quo. You impeach our president, we're going to impeach yours, because that just turns into a thing. Now you'll know, all right, we have the election. What date is the impeachment? So we got the inauguration in January, and then the impeachment, I think, is in June. And that, it just becomes worthless because it's just part and parcel of being the other side. And that's kind of what they're doing. The Republicans didn't bite with Biden, but the Democrats gotta fucking, he's so evil, impeachment. Because again, they think it's going to make a difference. They think when the campaign commercials start rolling around, this 3-time impeached president, it doesn't matter. This felon, doesn't matter. Don't care. This is their only defense. It's their only platform that they have. Everything they say is retarded and gay, and it's so irrelevant to all of our daily lives. But it's all they have. So that's what they do. So the latest is this fucking Pajit, this Indian. He's from India, this guy. He doesn't even have he's got the burst sound. The one that you can't do. The one that the Simpsons had to stop doing for, what's his name? The convenience store guy. Because it was, racist? Imitating actually the way somebody sounds is racist? How come we could do a Mamma Mia, that's a spicy meatball? And that's, Italian. You could do an Italian accent. Anyway. Can't do an Asian accent. Ooh, you do that, you are in big trouble. Ask Shane Gillis. Lost him the SNL gig. You can do French. Oh, maybe we should go out for some wine and baguette. You could do that. No one's going to go, oh my God. You could do German. Eins, zwei, drei, vier. You could do all that. What can't you do? The slurping machine broken. That's the hacky, typical Indian guy, because that's who works there. Let me do an impression. So this Indian guy was in the 7-Eleven earlier, and I went up to the register with some donuts and didn't have a price tag on it. And he goes, "Hey, how much do these cost? Can you look?" And I looked and walked out. It was hilarious. What? How much did these cost? I do not know. Maybe you could look at the... You're not allowed. So to imitate this guy, everyone will know it. Other, Republicans will see this guy and want to go like, oh, we should impeach the president. If they won't do it because they're pussies. Truth be told, he sounds like that. He's not even from America. He's from India, and he's immediately, Trump needs to be impeached. Fuck you. Go back to your sewer. Go back to your fucking sewer and talk about impeachment. Let's watch this guy. What's his name? It just says Indian politician. This, first of all, before you even play it, this looks like Jimmy Fallon ready to do some bit. Like they put some makeup on his face, put a wig on, did his eyebrows, and now Jimmy Fallon's going to do a hilarious Indian impression of this politician guy. You think SNL would ever do that with the voice and everything? No, ain't going to happen. But it looks like it. Looks like it should be a sketch. All right, let's listen to this idiot.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern. That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment.
Fucking clown. Fucking clown. I have Donald J. Trump. Fucking asshole. What a fucking weasel. He needs to get, his name needs to get up there with the rest of them, with AOC and Crockett and Waters and Presley and all those fucking assholes. Everyone on that side is a fucking retard. A retard of color. All retards of color. Ah, Christ. Enough already. Articles of impeachment. Did you? Let's see how far that goes. Guy barely speaks English. How the hell did he get into Congress? Founding fathers would be vomiting. They'd be vomiting over each other if they got a glimpse into the future and saw this. So wait, you mean to tell me the president is trying to do this? He's trying to get people that illegally came into this country and were causing problems financially, legally, and he tries to get him out. Yeah. And then this guy who doesn't even sound like he's now wants to impeach the president for that? Yeah. Well, how'd that happen? I don't know. You guys wrote the rules. I don't know. Yeah, but we never meant that to. Yeah, we know. Let me show you something else you never meant. Oh, boy. You're really not going to like this. Mother of fuck. Too much.